Hey guys, this is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth, and I am back again doing your July 2015 monthly tarot horoscope. This is for everyone with their sun, moon, or ascendant in the lovely Libra. And the update here is that I am not sure when I'm going to be putting out the sex and relationship videos. Maybe in August. I'm not sure. It depends on how much time I have, and right now my schedule is pretty full with private clients. If you would like a private reading, feel free to email me, elizabetholson31@gmail.com. It is $75 an hour, and I usually book the 1 hour session. I am doing couples sessions now, so if you and your partner would like to have a couple session with me, it's also $75 per hour, and I would book the 1 hour session to start off with. And yeah, basically the way it goes is there are rules for that. I am making sure there's no fighting and allowed, and also I'm laying out 3 spreads to begin with, one for you, one for your partner, and then one for the combined situation. So it's been very interesting so far, and it's going to be interesting continuing to see how these are going, but so far it's going really well. So excuse me. I think the last thing I was going to say, all my information is on my YouTube channel under the About section, more about my pricing and my schedule. So yeah, so let's see what you guys get for the month of July. This again is for everyone with their sun, moon, or ascendant in Libra. And so you kind of have an interesting spread here. I'm going to start with 2 cards, the one in the immediate future and the outcome. So the card in the immediate future is, I call this the karma card, okay? Or this is the 8 of Swords, okay? The 8 of Swords is a card also about feeling restricted, or feeling like you can't, like you're damned if you do or you're damned if you don't. Like you're stuck, basically. You feel stuck. Feel like you can't do what you want, or you can't go where you want, or you can't say what you want. There's some kind of restriction. A lot of times there's restrictions because people get into relationships that where somebody's married, okay, and maybe somebody's not married, and the person who's not married is feeling frustrated with the person who is married, that kind of thing. So there's that. It is linking up with the distant past and the foundation card, which is about divorce. This is the legal card. Also, some of you may be in the law field. Libras. This is the card of Libra. I think this is your card. Okay, so it makes sense it's showing up for you, but I feel like you're either in a marriage that you want to be divorced from, and it's a karmic relationship, so outcome is negative, okay? Another reason why you have a negative outcome here, okay? You got the miser card as the outcome, which I don't like to see because that means you're really closing yourself off. You are really obsessing about money, and you're not balancing. So funny I say that because Libra is all about balance. Balancing money in a healthy way. And I was talking about my other video how, there's the homeless person who's counting every single penny. And then there's the millionaire who goes and buys things from the dollar store. Okay, those 2 different misers, but there's also different misers in between. There's all different shades of miserly people. Okay, people who have money but think that they need more. Okay, that's a miser too. People that are living paycheck to paycheck and they're barely making it, so they're being very, very careful about any extra that they might have. That's also a miser too. All of it is part of that consciousness of lack, of scarcity, of not having anything, of not being in abundance. And you need to really open up. This may not be you. This may be your partner. I feel like you may be married to someone who's very controlling, Libra, or you may be in a partnership with someone who's very controlling because you got the King of Wands here. And I don't feel like this is you, okay? It could be you, but I don't feel like it is, okay? And he's very determined. This is also pure determination, too. It comes up as just really pure determination. It's sort of like you're determined to get what you want. Maybe in a divorce settlement, you want 50%. And they're like, but no. The outcome is no. The outcome is, being selfish in some way. Okay, the outcome is, it's also about being selfish. It is all about money loss in some cases, or just not having the money in other cases. It really is going to depend on each situation. The fact is that you've got the Ace of Pentacles in the position of emotions, which is akin to some of the other signs. And it's weird because this is coming up in July, and I don't know what's going on in the planetary situation, but a lot of people are very focused, like their emotions and their happiness is dependent on how much money they have. And that's not a good road to go down. So this is why you're going to end up in the Four of Pentacles. You're going down kind of the wrong path here, because the Four of Pentacles is money loss, actually. It's like the more you're focused on this to create your own happiness, the more you're going to lose. Better to settle than to cling on to every single penny and tell everybody to go to hell. It's not going to work. You have to settle it, let it go, be open, be giving, be generous, be in that place of abundance and wealth, okay? Because I believe you do have money. It's not that you don't. It's just that in the end, I feel like you don't want to settle for less, or you don't want to settle, period. Because you got this Justice card here. And, you got the two Karma cards next to each other, okay? That means any lawsuit that you have, you're only going to get a portion of what you want. Any divorce settlement that you're going to have, you're only going to get a portion of what you want. Any money that may come in, okay, from the outside, you're only going to get a portion. Why? Because karma takes all. Karma takes. Karma is like, you're in the negative when you're born in karma land, okay? In the world. You're in the negative. You have a negative balance. And everything that happens that could be good, it takes it. So your balance starts to become closer and closer to zero. But the more lawsuits you file and the more greedy you get, it gets worse and worse and worse for you. So you actually have to work harder to pay off that negative balance. You see that negative karmic balance. So getting to the 0 point where you're good is really, really difficult. It's really, really challenging, and it means you've had to go through a lot to get there. So, I'm just saying that better to settle now, better to let it go, pay whatever karmic debt you need to pay, and move on from it. Start over, start fresh. The universe wants you to start over and start fresh. You get the Judgment card as well, okay? And the Judgment card is looking back at your past and saying, and not blaming yourself. Libras do this blame thing very much, and they feel guilty about the decisions they've made, and they feel bad about the choices they've made, and they beat themselves up terribly, okay? Almost worse than Aquarius does, which is nearly impossible to do. But Libras will blame, okay, themselves for making those poor choices of the past. But you can't let that get to you, because everybody makes choices, and none of us really, even psychics don't know ahead of time what's going to happen for every single thing, because psychics aren't tuned in most of the time. If they were, they'd go crazy, okay? So, And psychics, the one thing they can't see is themselves. They can see everybody else so clearly, but they can't see themselves at all, or very little anyways. So really, you don't really know how things are going to all shake out in the end until you make the choice. And you can't go back and beat yourself up for every single choice you've ever made in your entire life because, because maybe it turned out negative. You have to start fresh. You have to start over. You have to lay the past to rest and say, I made those choices and, some of those choices weren't the best choices, but okay, I forgive myself for doing those, for making those decisions, and move on and start over. That's what the universe wants you to do. It also, you also have the waiting card here. So there's the waiting game going on. You've got and I feel like the waiting is about the settlement, or the waiting is about this justice situation, maybe waiting even to start over, fresh. You got the Hermit card in the position of, in the heartbeat of the reading, the track that you're on, and that is, one of the moving cards. It's also about another waiting card. This is also a wedding or engagement. So you may be going to a wedding or getting engaged, or, some of you are getting engaged and some of you are getting divorced. It's really split because you can't have the engagement card right next to the justice card without there being some kind of conflict. So it's really split, I feel like, in this reading here. And you're getting the Eight of Wands, which is the Wish card. But it's actually quite strange because what you're wishing for, I feel like you got the Ten of Swords and the Five of Cups, which is negative stuff. So I always think, okay, what is it about those cards that you don't want? Okay, it's sort of like you're wishing not to feel unloved and unsupported. You're wishing not to feel like you're waiting forever for Mr. Right to show up. You're wishing for being lifted out of hardship financially in some way. And I need to pause my computer being weird for a second.